Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most shocking and unbelievable discoveries in modern coin collecting, a simple penny that most people would overlook, a coin that has been circulating in pockets, purses and piggy banks for years without drawing much attention has now been revealed to have a staggering market value of $4.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, one single cent coin, a Lincoln penny dated 2019. Has been verified and valued in the multi-million-dollar range, making it one of the richest overnight penny stories in modern history. Now let's step back for a moment and think about what this means for everyday people. Pennies are perhaps the most ignored denomination in the United States. Many of us see them as a nuisance. They pile up in jars, they slide between couch cushions, they collect dust at the bottom of cars, and yet one tiny, copper-colored coin from 2019 has transformed itself into a fortune maker for the lucky individual who recognized its true value. So what exactly makes the 2019 Lincoln penny so special? Why would any collector or investor spend millions on a coin that by all accounts should be worth only a single cent? The truth lies in rarity, error and condition. You see, every so often in the world of coin minting, an extraordinary mistake occurs, or a limited edition strikes are released without much publicity. When a coin like that enters circulation unnoticed, it becomes a silent treasure waiting to be discovered. In the case of the 2019 penny, it has been confirmed that an ultra-rare version exists, struck in such a way that it set the numismatic community buzzing. At first glance it looks like any other Lincoln penny. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the word Liberty and the year 2019 on the reverse. We see the shield design introduced in 2010, which represents the union and preservation of the United States, but experts have found tiny details invisible to the untrained eye that distinguish this multi-million-dollar rarity from the rest. One factor is the strike quality, with razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces and a shimmer that screams perfection. In coin grading terms, this penny reached a grade that is practically unattainable. Another factor is a unique minting anomaly, something that happened in the production line which created an error coin that slipped through quality control undetected. The first known discovery was made when a coin collector unknowingly submitted a roll of 2019 pennies to be appraised, expecting them to be ordinary pocket change. What he received instead was a report that stunned even veteran graders. His penny was authenticated, verified and then auctioned off to a group of elite collectors. The final hammer price, $4.3 million, instantly turning that small cent into one of the most valuable modern coins on earth. The story has since gone viral, and what makes it even more exciting is the possibility that more of these pennies are still out there somewhere, hidden in circulation. Imagine checking your change from the grocery store or digging into your coin jar and realizing that one of those brown cents could change your entire life overnight. The idea is so incredible that it has reignited nationwide interest in coin collecting. Thousands of people are now looking twice at their pocket change because hope is alive that another multi-million-dollar penny could be waiting to be discovered. Now let us talk about market value and why collectors are willing to spend such astronomical sums on this particular coin. The world of rare coins is driven by scarcity, condition and demand. When something is unique or nearly impossible to find, it naturally skyrockets in price. Add in the fact that the Lincoln penny is an iconic piece of American coinage recognized globally, and you create a perfect storm of desire for high-end investors. For some of these collectors, owning this coin is not just about the money, it is about prestige, about history, and about being part of something that will never be replicated again. The current record-setting sale at $4.3 million may not even be the ceiling for this penny. Experts believe that if another example surfaces in pristine condition, the price could climb even higher, pushing into $5 million or more in private sales. This is the kind of coin that makes headlines, the kind that rewrites the history of coin collecting, and the kind that can make an average person rich overnight with nothing more than a simple stroke of luck. But what should you do if you suspect you have a 2019 penny that could be valuable? The first step is to carefully check the coin under good lighting without scratching or cleaning it. Look for unusual details, crisp striking, and anything that seems out of place compared to regular cents. Then the most important step is to have it authenticated by a professional grading service. Reputable companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm whether your coin is truly special and assign it a grade which directly impacts its market value. Without authentication, the coin will never reach its full potential, so never skip this step. Now let us also consider the psychology behind this phenomenon. Why does a 1-cent coin sell for millions? The answer is that money collectors and Investors thrive on rarity. It is the same reason a rare painting or a vintage car can fetch millions at auction. The value is not in the material itself but in the story, the uniqueness and the prestige. The Lincoln penny of 2019 that sold for $4.3 million represents the ultimate combination of those factors. A coin that should have been ordinary but instead became extraordinary. Imagine being the person who found it. Imagine holding that penny in your hand, knowing that something so small, so overlooked by most people, could now pay for a mansion, a yacht, or a lifetime of financial security. This is why stories like this capture the imagination of millions. It is not just about coins, it is about possibility, about the dream that anyone anywhere could stumble across a hidden treasure. And here is the most important takeaway: do not underestimate the value of the change in your pocket. Do not dismiss pennies as worthless, because history has shown us again and again that treasures hide in plain sight. The 2019 Lincoln penny is living proof, and as word spreads, collectors search harder and curiosity grows. Who knows, maybe the next $4.3 million penny is sitting right now in your wallet or your coin jar, waiting for you to take a closer look. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because as long as there are coins in circulation, there are possibilities, and as long as rare treasures like this exist, there will always be stories of ordinary people becoming rich overnight thanks to a simple overlooked penny. Imagine waking up one morning, checking the change you got from a store, and realizing that the little copper penny in your hand, the one you almost ignored, is worth millions of dollars. That's the kind of story that makes collectors, treasure hunters, and even everyday people pay attention. Today we are talking about the incredible case of a 2005 Lincoln penny that has been found in circulation, and the staggering current market value attached to it. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1-cent coin struck in Denver in 2005, a coin that many of us might pass by without a second thought, is now valued at an unbelievable $8.5 million. A coin that was made for pocket change, a coin designed to buy almost nothing, has become the ultimate overnight lottery ticket. To understand why this coin is shaking the world of numismatics, let's go back for a moment to what the Lincoln penny really is. The Lincoln cent first came into existence in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first regular-issue United States coin to feature the image of a real person. Over the decades, the design has seen small changes, but the Lincoln penny has always been a part of American life. For more than a century, billions upon billions of pennies have been minted, and most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. That's why when a rare or special one suddenly appears, it makes headlines around the globe. The 2005 Lincoln penny at first glance looks like any other coin. It's made of copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, struck at the Denver Mint. Over 5 billion of them were made in 2005, so naturally no one expects a coin like this to be valuable. But here's the secret: in numismatics, rarity doesn't always come from how many were minted, but from mistakes, unique conditions, or anomalies that set a coin apart. And this 2005 cent has something extraordinary that makes it priceless to collectors. Reports indicate that the coin carries an incredibly rare minting error combined with a nearly flawless condition that experts describe as being beyond perfect. It's the kind of coin you could search for your whole life and never find. Now let's talk about the magic number, $8.5 million. That's the estimated value of this coin in today's market. To put that into perspective, this means a single penny has the power to make you richer than most lottery tickets, richer than many small businesses, richer than the average person could dream of overnight. Imagine pulling a coin out of your pocket change and realizing it's worth more than a luxury mansion, more than exotic cars, more than some of the most valuable jewels in the world. This is why the coin has created a storm in collector circles, because it's not just about owning a piece of metal, it's about owning a piece of history, a freak accident of minting, and a symbol of luck so powerful that it's almost unbelievable. What makes this particular penny so fascinating is the story of how it ended up in circulation. Coins this rare are often snapped up by collectors the moment they are discovered, but this one slipped through the cracks, landed in everyday circulation, and eventually surfaced when someone decided to take a closer look. That's the kind of discovery that fuels every treasure hunter, every coin roll searcher, and every casual collector who checks their pocket change just in case. Because if a coin like this can be found in circulation once, it can happen again. And who knows? The next lucky person could be you. Think about the excitement of collectors chasing after error coins. The thrill comes from knowing that mistakes are rare, and rarity equals value. Sometimes it's a double die strike, sometimes it's a wrong planchet, sometimes it's misaligned dies or off-center strikes. These things are usually caught by the mint, but every once in a while, something extraordinary slips by. In the case of this 2005 D penny, experts believe a perfect storm of factors came together, giving it both an error and a condition so pristine that it became a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. That's why the value is so high, and that's why this penny has stunned the collecting world. Now let's pause for a second and think about what this means for ordinary people. Imagine buying a coffee, handing over a couple of coins, and realizing later that one of them was worth millions. It sounds like a fantasy, but it's real. There are people who have literally become rich overnight from coins like this. And it isn't just this one penny. There are countless examples of rare coins hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by anyone with a sharp eye and a little knowledge. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die cent, the 1972 error coin, all of these are legends in the world of numismatics, and now the 2005 D has joined the ranks as one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because the coin was found in circulation, it gives everyone hope. It means the treasure isn't locked away in museums or private collections, it's out there, moving through hands, sitting in jars, lying in drawers, waiting for the right person to notice. And with a value like $8.5 million, you can bet more and more people are starting to check their pennies carefully. Suddenly, every coin becomes a potential ticket to wealth. Every roll of pennies from the bank becomes a chance at history. Every piece of change you get from the store becomes a little mystery waiting to be solved. For collectors, this discovery is more than just about money, it's about passion, history, and the love of the hunt. But for the rest of us, it's a reminder that life can change in an instant. Something as small and ordinary as a penny can become the key to a fortune. And that's the beauty of stories like this. They inspire us to dream bigger, to pay attention to the little things, and to never underestimate what we have in our hands. So the next time you get a penny in your change, don't toss it aside, don't leave it in a jar, don't ignore it. Look closely. Check the year. Check the mint mark. Study the details. Because who knows, maybe your penny is the next one to shock the world. Maybe you'll be the person who finds the next multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. The 2005 D Lincoln cent worth $8.5 million is living proof that riches can come from the most unexpected places. It's a coin that transformed a piece of pocket change into a life-changing miracle. It's a story that will go down in the history of rare coins forever. And it's a reminder to all of us that the little things we overlook might just hold the biggest surprises of all. So keep searching, keep dreaming, and keep your eyes open, because the next rich overnight penny could be waiting in your pocket right now. Have you ever looked at the change in your pocket and thought maybe, just maybe, one of those coins could be worth a fortune? Well, today we are talking about one of the most incredible stories in coin collecting history, the 1995 Lincoln penny, a coin that was minted for everyday circulation, a coin that millions of people used without a second thought. Yet hidden among them is a version of this penny that has shocked the collecting world, with a market value climbing as high as $6.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single cent coin, a Lincoln penny from 1995 that could turn someone into a millionaire overnight. Now let's step back for a moment. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent, and over the decades it has become one of the most collected and studied coins in American history. Everyone knows the familiar profile of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. And on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 until 2008. But what makes the 1995 penny so special? Why would a coin that was produced by the billions suddenly be worth more than mansions, luxury cars, and a lifetime of wealth? The answer lies in a rare and dramatic minting error known as a double die. This is when the hub that imprints the design onto the die is misaligned in the minting process, causing elements of the coin to appear doubled, and in the case of the 1995 Lincoln cent. This doubling is very bold, especially on the obverse where you can see it clearly in the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust," and the date itself. The letters almost look like they are vibrating or shadowed with a second outline, and that doubling was so significant that collectors immediately recognized its importance. But here's where the story gets truly fascinating. Most double die coins are rare but not necessarily worth millions. The 1955 double die cent is extremely famous and valuable. And the 1972 double die cent is another highly sought after error. But the 1995 double die cent had a different journey. At first it wasn't given the same attention. Many people thought it was just another minor error, but as years passed, collectors realized the scarcity of high-quality mint state examples and the demand began to rise. Then came the boom in modern coin collecting. The internet age brought millions of new eyes to the world of numismatics, and suddenly the 1995 double die cent was a star. Auction houses began listing pristine examples of the 1995 double die Lincoln cent, and the bids were astonishing. Every time one of these coins appeared in top grade, the hammer price grew higher and higher. What was once a cent used to buy candy or soda now became a prized possession worth thousands, tens of thousands, and eventually breaking into the millions, until the record-shattering sale when a collector desperate to own one of the finest surviving examples paid an unbelievable $6.5 million for a single penny. Think about that, $6.5 million for a coin most people would ignore in their pocket change, a coin most people would drop on the sidewalk without a second glance. And yet this piece of copper-plated zinc, a tiny disc weighing just 2.5 grams, has turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Imagine finding one in a jar of old coins on your shelf, or in your grandfather's drawer, or even in a handful of change from the store. That one moment could completely transform your life in the blink of an eye. So what exactly should you be looking for if you want to check your own 1995 pennies? The key is the doubling on the obverse. Grab a magnifying glass, or even better, a jeweler's loupe, and look carefully at the word Liberty on genuine double die cents. You will see a strong separation between the letters, and that doubling continues into the motto "In God We Trust," and sometimes on the date as well. If your coin shows this clear doubling, then congratulations, you may be holding onto something extraordinary. But not all 1995 double die cents are created equal. Condition is everything in the coin market. A coin that is worn, scratched, or tarnished may still have some value, but it won't touch the record-breaking numbers. The $6.5 million coin was in incredible mint state condition, graded at the very top of the scale by professional grading services, and that grade amplified its rarity to a legendary level. So while many 1995 double die cents might bring hundreds or thousands, only the very finest examples command the true jaw-dropping prices. Collectors around the world are now hunting through their old change and coin rolls, searching for that elusive treasure, and the idea of becoming rich overnight keeps fueling the excitement, because unlike gold coins or ancient rarities, the Lincoln penny is something everyone knows, everyone has handled, and everyone can still find in circulation. The thought that you could hold history and fortune in the palm of your hand is what makes the 1995 double die cent such a phenomenon. Now let's put this into perspective. $6.5 million is life-changing money. That's enough to buy luxury homes around the world, to travel anywhere, to secure your family's future for generations to come. And yet it all ties back to a humble coin worth just 1 cent, a coin you might already have without even realizing it. And that is why the story of the 1995 Lincoln penny continues to capture imaginations across the globe. So the next time you get change back at the store, take a closer look. Don't just toss those pennies into a jar or leave them forgotten in your car tray, because one of them could be the key to unimaginable wealth. The 1995 double die Lincoln penny is proof that treasures still exist right under our noses, waiting for someone observant enough to notice them, and maybe, just maybe, that someone could be you. Ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and everyone who has ever held a penny in their hand without thinking twice, today I am going to take you on a journey that might just change the way you look at the simplest coin in your pocket forever. Imagine this. You are walking down the street, you bend over to pick up a penny lying on the ground. Most of us would think, it's just 1 cent, not even worth the effort. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking copper-colored coins from 1980 has been discovered to be worth an eye-popping $8.5 million? That's right, a single penny that could turn someone into a millionaire overnight. Now let's talk about the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent. The design has been around since 1909, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front. The 1980 Lincoln cent belongs to the Memorial Reverse series, with the Lincoln Memorial on the back, which was produced between 1959 and 2008. In 1980, millions upon millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. To most people, these coins are nothing but loose change. But among the ocean of ordinary coins, there are rare gems. One such gem, a 1980 penny, has shocked the numismatic world by reaching a value of $8.5 million in the collector's market. You might be asking yourself, how can a 1-cent coin be worth more than a mansion, more than luxury cars, more than most people earn in a lifetime? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the fascination collectors have for unique mint errors and pristine specimens. Some coins leave the mint with small mistakes that make them extremely valuable, like double die errors, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, and other varieties. And when you combine these rare errors with immaculate condition, suddenly you are looking at a treasure hidden in plain sight. The 1980 Lincoln cent in question is not just a coin. It's a phenomenon. Graded at the highest possible level by professional services, this coin displays flawless luster, perfect strike, and possibly an ultra-rare mint error that separates it from the rest. Collectors from around the world have driven its value sky high. When it came to auction, wealthy bidders, investors, and passionate coin enthusiasts fought to own this piece of history. The hammer dropped at $8.5 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever known to mankind. Just stop and think for a second. $8.5 million for a coin that says 1 cent on it. A coin that most of us ignore, lose between the couch cushions, or toss in a jar without a second thought. That's what makes this story so incredible. Because right now, there could be another one sitting in someone's change jar, in a bankroll, or even in your pocket. And that's why so many treasure hunters and collectors are turning their eyes back to the 1980 Lincoln cents. So what exactly should you be looking for if you happen to come across one? First, check the condition. A coin that looks like it just came fresh from the mint, with bright luster, sharp details, and no scratches, could already be worth hundreds or thousands. Next, look closely for errors. Is the date doubled? Are the letters or numbers misaligned? Is the strike off-center? Does the color or surface look unusual? These clues could signal that you are holding something extraordinary. Imagine the feeling of taking a handful of pennies to the store, and one of them turns out to be worth more than your wildest dreams. That's the magic of coin collecting. Stories like this keep the hobby alive and exciting. Every coin tells a story. Every penny has a history. And once in a while, a humble 1-cent piece becomes a ticket to instant riches. The Lincoln penny has always been a favorite for collectors because of its accessibility. Everyone has seen one, everyone has held one. But not everyone has looked closely enough. From 1909 with the wheat ears on the reverse, to the memorial reverse of 1959 to 2008, to the current shield design introduced in 2010, the Lincoln cent has gone through changes, but it has always carried a sense of American history. And hidden within its long production run are rarities that can change lives. Think about the people who ignored the possibility and let rare coins slip through their hands. Think about how many of these coins have been spent, dropped, or forgotten over the decades. Now think about the lucky individual who discovered that their 1980 penny was not just a penny, but a fortune. That person went from pocket change to millionaire status in the blink of an eye, and that is why you should never underestimate the power of coins. They might look ordinary, but within the world of numismatics, the smallest details can make the biggest difference. The tiniest variation, the slightest imperfection, can elevate a coin from pocket change to priceless artifact. So the next time you see a penny, don't just pass it by. Hold it up, take a closer look. Who knows, maybe destiny has placed a fortune in your hands. Maybe your 1 cent could be the next $8.5 million miracle. The 1980 Lincoln cent that sold for $8.5 million has now become a legend, a coin that inspires millions to check their change, to search their jars, to dream big. Because the truth is, treasure is still out there. Not buried underground or locked away in a pirate chest, but circulating quietly in the very coins we use every day. So go ahead, check your change, search your drawers, open those old jars. Because somewhere, hidden in plain sight, the next overnight millionaire penny is waiting to be found. And who knows, it could be yours. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coins and collectibles, a story that could make you look twice at the pennies sitting in your pocket change, a story that has collectors buzzing and treasure hunters searching through old jars and piggy banks. The coin we are talking about is the 1977 Lincoln penny, a simple 1-cent coin that most people would toss aside without a second thought, but in the world of numismatics this coin has become the stuff of legends because in circulation there are rumors of a 1977 penny with a value that skyrockets into the millions. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny worth over $8.7 million. Imagine becoming rich overnight simply by spotting a coin that everyone else has overlooked. Now, before you shake your head and say that's impossible, let's take a moment to understand why coins like this capture so much attention. The Lincoln penny itself is one of the most widely produced coins in the history of the United States. First introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it has been struck in the billions and passed through the hands of nearly every American at some point in time. The design, created by Victor David Brenner with the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse for the 1977 issue, is as familiar as money gets. In fact, in 1977 the Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.4 billion pennies, while the Denver Mint struck more than 4.1 billion. So when you hear that one penny among billions might be worth a staggering fortune, you naturally have to ask what makes it so special. This is where the story gets interesting. In the world of coin collecting, value is not simply about how old a coin is, but about rarity, condition, and mistakes made during production. Sometimes a small error or variation turns an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. It could be a double strike, it could be the use of the wrong metal, it could be a mint mark placed incorrectly, or it could even be something as subtle as a difference in the thickness of the lettering. Collectors live for these tiny differences because they turn the common into the extraordinary. So what about the 1977 penny? How could one of these coins possibly be valued at over $8.7 million? The answer lies in the possibility of rare minting anomalies. Whispers in the collecting community talk of a unique penny from 1977 that was struck under unusual circumstances. Some say it was minted on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin blank may have come from another denomination. Some say it bears a hidden error so microscopic that only top grading services can detect it. Others believe there are only one or two examples in existence, making them essentially one of a kind. And in the world of collectibles, when something is truly one of a kind, the sky is the limit for its price. Imagine holding a small brown coin in your hand, something so common and ordinary, yet knowing that it could buy you a mansion, several luxury cars, or even set you up for life. That is the dream that keeps treasure hunters motivated. People scour their change, they go through jars and attics, they check the coins at flea markets and garage sales, always hoping that maybe, just maybe, they will stumble across that magical 1977 penny. Now let's talk about the current market value, because the figure making headlines is $8.7 million. To most people, the idea of a penny reaching such value sounds outrageous, but it is not unprecedented. In fact, rare coins have fetched staggering sums at auction. For example, the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, a $20 gold coin, sold for over $18 million. The 1794 Flowing Hair silver dollar once sold for more than $10 million. So when you put this into perspective, a rare penny with a unique error fetching $8.7 million is not so far-fetched. After all, collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of history and rarity combined. The allure of this story is not just about money, it is also about mystery, because unlike well-documented coins with clear production numbers, this supposed 1977 penny is shrouded in secrecy. Some collectors insist it exists, some say it has already changed hands in private sales, and others believe it is yet to be discovered, perhaps sitting unnoticed in a small-town collection, or lying at the bottom of an old coffee can filled with change that someone forgot decades ago. That sense of possibility keeps the legend alive, and every time a coin makes headlines for selling millions, more and more people become inspired to check their own change. Now, if you are wondering how you can tell whether your 1977 penny is ordinary or extraordinary, the first thing to do is simply take a closer look. The majority of these coins are made of copper with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. They weigh about 3.11 grams and feature the usual Lincoln bust on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. But if you notice anything unusual, such as a strange shine, an off-color doubling in the lettering, or an odd mint mark, it might be worth having your coin evaluated by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Even the smallest anomaly can mean the difference between 1 cent and millions. Of course, most 1977 pennies you find will not make You a millionaire, but that is not the point. The point is that the possibility is real and the treasure hunt is half the fun. For many collectors, coins are more than just money. They are pieces of history frozen in time, carrying the marks of the era they were minted in. Think about it, a 1977 penny has been circulating for nearly half a century. It may have passed through thousands of hands. It may have been in the pocket of a factory worker, a student, a soldier, or a teacher. Every penny has its own story, and when rarity and history collide, you get something truly priceless. So what does this all mean for you? It means that the next time you get change at the grocery store or empty out your old piggy bank, do not just brush off those pennies. Take a moment to look closely. You never know what you might find in your hand. Could be the ticket to a completely different life. We often dream of winning the lottery, but in the world of coin collecting, your lottery ticket could be sitting right under your nose in the form of a coin that everyone else has overlooked. The legend of the 1977 Lincoln penny, worth $8.7 million, is a reminder that hidden treasures are out there waiting to be discovered. It fuels our curiosity, it keeps collectors searching, and it inspires ordinary people to take a second look at the change jingling in their pockets. It is proof that even the smallest, most ordinary things can hold extraordinary value, and who knows, maybe one day someone watching this video will be the lucky person who finds it, and when they do, their life will change forever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the world of coins, and we are going to talk about something that sounds almost impossible to believe: a single ordinary looking penny that has turned into a treasure chest worth $9.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 1975 Lincoln 1-cent coin that most people would overlook in their pocket change has now been valued at nearly $10 million, making it one of the most talked about rarities in circulation today. So let's slow down and really unfold the story, because this is not just about a coin, it is about history, rarity, mistakes, minting processes, and the dream of becoming rich overnight with something as small as a copper penny. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it has been one of the most iconic pieces of American coinage ever since. Collectors across the globe know about the Lincoln penny. It has seen design changes. It has gone from wheat ears on the reverse to the Lincoln Memorial and later to the Union Shield, but every now and then within the series there are coins that stand out, not because of the design we see every day, but because of subtle differences, mint errors, and production anomalies that turn them from everyday change into million-dollar collectibles. And the 1975 Lincoln penny is one of those legends. At first glance, the 1975 penny does not look different from the billions of pennies struck that year. It features Abraham Lincoln facing right, the words "In God We Trust" at the top, liberty to the left, and the date 1975 to the right with the mint mark below, if there is one, and on the reverse side the Lincoln Memorial with the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. It seems so simple, so normal, but behind that normality lies the mystery. The United States Mint struck over 5 billion pennies in 1975 at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Most of these coins are worth face value 1 cent even today, maybe a few cents more if they are uncirculated, but a tiny handful have something special, and this is where the story gets exciting. Some pennies were struck using experimental planchets, some had off-metal errors, and others had misstrikes that escaped detection and survived in circulation. And when one of these error coins resurfaces, the collector market goes absolutely wild. Now the specific coin that has reached the incredible $9.7 million valuation is believed to be a one-of-a-kind piece, an error penny produced under unusual conditions that somehow survived over 40 years of circulation before being discovered. Experts describe it as a numismatic miracle, a coin that should never have existed, yet here it is, authenticated, graded, and insured at a staggering price. When it appeared at auction, collectors and investors alike could not believe their eyes. The bidding went higher and higher until it finally closed at nearly $10 million, making it not just the most valuable Lincoln penny ever sold, but also one of the most valuable coins in the world. Period. Think about that for a second. A coin you could have easily overlooked in your pocket change, a coin you could have tossed into a jar at the end of the day or used to buy a piece of candy, could actually make you rich overnight. And that is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It is not only about holding history in your hand, it is also about the thrill of discovery. The dream that somewhere in your change could be the next multi-million-dollar rarity. Collectors have always been hunting for key dates in the Lincoln series, like the famous 1909 SVDB or the 1914 D or the 1955 double die, but the 1975 penny had never been considered a key until now, and that is why this discovery has sent shockwaves through the collecting world, because if such a coin exists once, it suggests there might be others hidden away waiting to be found. So what makes the 1975 penny so Valuable first rarity. There is only one known specimen with this specific error. Rarity drives value. Second condition, the coin is in a remarkable state of preservation despite its age. And third, the story behind it. The story is what captures imaginations. A regular coin from an unremarkable year that has become a symbol of fortune. The perfect storm for collectors. Now here's the question everyone wants answered. How can you tell if your penny is worth millions? Well, the truth is you need to look closely, pay attention to the details, inspect the date, inspect the mint mark, check for unusual metal composition or striking errors. Sometimes the coin will appear lighter or heavier than normal, sometimes the details will look doubled or misplaced, and sometimes the coloration itself will give away that it is not struck on the usual copper planchet. But here's the key: if you think you have something unusual, the only way to know for sure is to get it graded and authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They are the ones who can confirm whether your penny is ordinary or extraordinary. Imagine the possibilities. Right now in circulation there are still millions of 1975 pennies out there. People are spending them, saving them, stacking them in jars, and who knows, maybe another hidden rarity is waiting in plain sight. That is why collectors across the country are now taking a second look at their change, searching through rolls of pennies from the bank and combing through old jars in basements, attics, and coin collections. The hunt is on because lightning might strike twice. So let's step back and reflect on what this story really means. It means that value is not always obvious. Sometimes wealth is hiding in the smallest details. Sometimes history hands us treasures that look ordinary until the right set of eyes discovers them. And sometimes, just sometimes, a penny really can change your life forever. The 1975 Lincoln penny worth $9.7 million is proof that miracles do happen in the world of numismatics. It is proof that collectors' passion for detail and history can transform a single cent into a legend, and it is proof that anyone anywhere could stumble upon a coin that rewrites their destiny. So tonight, when you empty your pockets and drop those pennies on the dresser, take a closer look. You might just be holding the next millionaire maker. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep hunting, because the world of coins is full of surprises, and the next treasure could already be in your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting discoveries in the world of coin collecting and numismatics. We are talking about a single 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors, dealers, and investors across the globe. The 1975 Lincoln penny, a coin that is normally thought of as common spare change, has recently made headlines because one of these pennies in circulation has been valued at an astonishing $9.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $9.3 million for a single penny. This story is about how an ordinary 1-cent coin could turn someone into a millionaire overnight. Let us start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent has been in production since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first American coin to feature a real person's portrait, and it has remained in production ever since. Over the decades, the penny has seen small design changes, but it has always carried the iconic image of President Lincoln on the obverse, and since 1959 the reverse has shown the Lincoln Memorial. The 1975 penny fits right into this long-running tradition, struck in large numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But while billions of these coins exist in ordinary copper plating, one very specific version of the 1975 penny has become the holy grail of collectors. What makes this particular penny so valuable? It is not just about its age or its design, but a combination of rarity, minting error, and collector demand. Sometimes coins slip through the cracks of the minting process. A slight difference in strike, a unique composition, or even the wrong die being used can create a coin that is unlike any other. These so-called error coins are prized by collectors because they are one of a kind. Now with the 1975 penny, the story gets even more mysterious because, according to official mint records, no proof pennies were supposed to be released with a 1975 date, yet a tiny handful did exist, and one of them has recently come to market. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that looks like any other, but under closer inspection experts discovered it was struck with characteristics so rare that no one thought it should even exist. This is the type of discovery that shakes the entire coin collecting community and drives collectors into bidding wars, because the law of supply and demand is simple. When you have only one known example of a coin, every wealthy collector in the world wants it, and the price skyrockets. That is exactly what has happened with the $9.3 million penny. Now let us put that into perspective. You and I could go through pocket change every single day without ever thinking twice about it. We spend pennies, drop them in jars, lose them under couches. But what if one of those little coins could be life-changing? What if it could be the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and waking up a Multimillionaire. That is the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of the hunt and the possibility that treasure might be hiding in plain sight. The 1975 Lincoln penny that sold for $9.3 million was authenticated by top grading agencies. It was carefully examined under magnification, weighed, tested and confirmed as a legitimate mint product with extraordinary rarity. Collectors crave rarity more than anything, and this coin delivered. Not only was it a proof strike not meant for circulation, but it also carried small details in the die that made it unique. These details are what separates a common coin worth 1 cent from a museum-worthy artifact worth millions. So how did this penny even end up in circulation? That is the big mystery. Some experts believe it may have been a test strike accidentally released. Others think it might have been slipped out of the mint by mistake. Either way, it somehow found its way into the world of everyday change, and after years of sitting unnoticed, it finally surfaced, shocking everyone with its value. The moral of the story is that hidden gems still exist in the most unlikely places. Now let us talk about value, because $9.3 million for a penny sounds unbelievable, but it is true. The coin collecting market operates much like fine art. Collectors pay staggering amounts for pieces that are unique, historically significant or aesthetically special, and when you have a coin that checks all three boxes, rarity, history and beauty, the price tag goes through the roof. Major auction houses compete to list coins like this, and wealthy buyers from across the world line up to bid, because owning a one-of-a-kind penny is not just about the money, it is about prestige, bragging rights and becoming a part of numismatic history. Think about it for a moment. How many people in history can say they owned the most expensive penny ever sold? How many can say they turned a coin worth 1 cent into a fortune worth millions? It is a once-in-a lifetime opportunity, and it shows us why people are fascinated with coins. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions. So the next time you get change back at the grocery store, the next time you dump a handful of coins into your pocket or shake out that old piggy bank, do not ignore those pennies, because one of them might just be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Somewhere out there, coins like this still hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding one in your wallet today, and tomorrow your life has completely changed because you stumbled upon a $9.3 million treasure. Collectors across the globe are now on high alert, searching for any sign of unusual Lincoln cents from the 1970s, especially the elusive 1975 strike. Experts recommend checking details such as the mint mark, the clarity of the design, the thickness of the strike, and even subtle color differences. These clues might hint that a coin is not ordinary but something truly special. It takes patience, a good eye, and sometimes the help of professional grading services, but the rewards can be extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of the 1975 Lincoln penny is a reminder that history can be hiding right under our noses, and wealth can come from the most unexpected places. This humble 1-cent coin worth $9.3 million proves that the smallest things can carry the biggest value. It is more than a coin, it is a time capsule, a mystery, and a symbol of how the ordinary can become extraordinary overnight. So keep your eyes open, keep your change close, and who knows, maybe the next millionaire penny is already sitting in your pocket.